Hi, and welcome to Dr. St. Peter's SPSS tutorials. Today I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to make APA tables and figures simply. So let's get started. I have a sample scenario and some data, and then I also am going to open up SPSS. Okay, so here's our scenario. It says a psychology student is interested in whether pet ownership, particularly owning a dog, is associated with stress and emotional well-being. 10 college students completed a brief survey reporting whether or not they own a dog, their perceived stress, and their overall life satisfaction. Okay, so here, dog ownership 0 means they don't own a dog, and 1 means they do. So this is participant 1. They don't own a dog. They have 28 in perceived stress and 4 for life satisfaction. This is participant 2. So you see we have all 10 participants' data right here, and we need to get it into SPSS. One thing you can do is just copy all the numbers themselves. So what I did is I just held my mouse on the very first one, and I held it down while I went through all the other columns to make sure they're all selected. And then you can either right click and copy, or you can hit Control-C and copy. So we are going to copy that data. And then when you're in SPSS, make sure you're in data view. Go to the very top, make sure you're in 1, and then you can just right click and paste it. So there's our variables. There's all of our data, and that just reduces the likelihood of having any human error in typing in that data. Now, of course, you can type it in if you need to. You don't have to copy and paste. That's just one shortcut. All right, let's go ahead and go to variable view, and we're going to name our variables. So for this, we had participant ID, dog ownership, stress, and life satisfaction. Okay, now dog ownership was nominal, so we are going to make sure we have that as nominal. The other two were scale. Now for our nominal variable, we want to say what those zeros and ones meant. So zeros and ones. 0 is not a dog owner, and this is a dog owner. I don't know how to write this. No, not a dog owner and dog owner. We'll just leave it as that. There's probably better ways to write that. Okay, so now we can go back to data view, and it has all of our variable names. So data is now set up. What I want to do is you only have to do this once when you own SPSS, but you want to set it up to be as close to APA format as possible. So you go to Edit, Options, and then you're going to click on 2 tabs, the charts and the pivot tables. So for charts, you're going to go to APA, find it, click Apply, and then you go to Pivot Tables, click APA. It doesn't matter. I like to sans serif. Click Apply, and then click OK. You only have to do that once. Okay, now we could just have it create any graph or figure or table that we want, and we should be able to get it into APA format. So I'm just going to show you some examples. Let's look at the frequencies of stress. We will also create a histogram for stress, and then we'll get some statistics in a table. So we'll get our central tendencies. So this isn't necessarily what graph to create or table to create when. I'm just going to show you how to get them into APA format. Okay, so we're going to have this creating us some tables and then also a histogram. So I'm going to click OK. Now, because we went through that edit options, these tables are pretty close to APA format. I would say the one thing you'd want to do is take off that title on the top, because you want to type that in your Word document itself. So if I wanted to take this and put it into a Word document, I would first double click on it. When you double click on anything, it's going to allow you to edit it. So what I want to do is just click on that statistics box and get rid of it. And then that way when I click over here, it's gone. Now I can copy and paste this. You can either select it, see when I put your mouse on it, it puts a little gray box around it. You can either do that and then right click and go to copy as an image, or you can hit copy and paste like the Control-C. I like to copy it as an image. And then you just go to your Word document and you can paste it. So I'm going to go down a little bit, and there's our table. Now to make a table in APA format, you need to have a table number. So we'll say it's table 1. It will be double spaced, and then the table title should be italicized. So we can write descriptive statistics for stress. Now the table 1 needs to be bolded. Okay, and that way you have a perfectly formatted table. So we could do the same thing with our frequencies if we wanted this table. So if we paste this right into Word as is, the stress would be your title, and you'll see it's not the same format as the table number, and they should all be the same format. So that's why I recommend you double click on it and get rid of that top table title. There we go, and click X, and then it will be removed. And it's the same as Word. If you can always hit Control Z if you need to undo, if you accidentally delete the wrong thing. If you immediately hit Control Z, it will undo what you've done. So I'm going to copy that image, and that would be, I could type that as, I want to say it is frequencies of stress levels, but it should not be bold. It should be italicized. It is also in title case, which just means you capitalize every major word. So again, that's how you would properly format a table. Now let's go to our figure. Okay, this figure, again, we're going to need to get rid of the title, and it's as close to APA format as SPSS is going to give you, but it's not in APA format. The axis title should not be bold, you shouldn't have grid lines, and we need to get rid of this title up here. So with charts, when you double click on them, it's going to open up a chart editor. This is where you make all your changes, and then you're going to X out of it. It always makes your whole output screen go away, kind of scares you the first few times it does it, but your data is still there. I'll show you how to get back to it. So our chart editor is up. I'm going to click on this title right here. See how there's a gray box around it, and I can click delete. Okay, and that deletes that. You could get rid of this if you wanted to. I'll go ahead and delete it. The stress on the bottom should not be bold, so how I single clicked on it and put a little gray box around it. Now I can go up to here where it has the B for bold and unbold it. And then frequency looks good as well. Now if I didn't like the word, like if stress wasn't capitalized, because it should be, then you could just click on it again. Single click once to select it, single click again, and you can write whatever you want to here. Your axis title should be in title case, which means you would need to make sure the first letter of every word is capitalized. So you could write stress levels. Same with the y-axis. You can click it once to select it, click it again if you wanted to write something else. Okay, so we have our axis titles in title case, not bolded. Now the last thing we want to do is get rid of these grid lines. There's several different ways. I'm just going to go to Options and hide grid lines. So now this is an APA format. So I'm going to X out of it. See how it goes away? That's okay though. I know it's still there. I just have to go back in, and now I can copy and paste this into Word. So again, I can hit Control C, or I right click. I like to always copy them as an image because then it preserves the formatting. So now I can right click and paste it, or you could have hit Control V and it would paste it. But see how you can just move that around and it still looks like the same figure. Okay, to make this an APA format, you want to go ahead and write figure 1 or figure 2, whatever figure number you're on, and then the title. So this could be the histogram of stress levels. So remember, the figure number should be bolded. The figure title should be in title case and italicized. And then below the figure, you have to have a note with a sample of 10 stress levels were normally distributed. So usually you put like the sample size, and if there's error bars, what the error bars represent, or if it's significant. So this is just some information. Now with the note, you write the word note and a period, and then you should have sentence level or sentences after that. But the note, the word note itself should be italicized. So this is an APA style figure as a figure number, a title, the figure itself, and a note. Okay. Just as an aside, notes are optional on tables. They are required for figures. They should be double spaced, and you put your image in between them. Okay, if you want to hang on for one more time, I will show you how to do something that requires the inclusion of error bars. So we will go back to our SPSS file, and we will create let's create a bar chart. So I'm going to go to Chart Editor. I want to click a bar and do this very first one, a simple bar graph. And I want to do whether people own dogs. And then we'll do like life satisfaction. Now, because I have life satisfaction correctly entered as a scale variable, it's going to allow me to display error bars. If I had put a nominal variable over here, it would not allow me to do that. That's the most common error I see in students, is that like, it doesn't allow me to add error bars. That means that your scale of measurement is not set. You would have to get out of this, change your scale of measurement, then go back into the chart builder to make it work. So I'm going to hit display error bars. Now, usually for publications, I do a standard error of 1, but usually for homework and lecture purposes, I show 1 standard deviation. It really just depends on your particular field and or what publication, what journal you're submitting to, what people prefer. So standard deviation, standard error of the mean are the 2 most common, but you do usually change that multiplier to 1. Once you do that, you click OK. And here is our bar graph. So I see multiple things that is not an APA. We don't want it to say error bars plus or minus 1 standard deviation. We want to get rid of the underscores, the title. So again, we will double click on this to open up the chart editor. And then I'm going to single click on the title. It puts the little gray box around it, and I'm going to hit my delete key. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the error bars on here. You do not want to type the figure number, the title, and the note within SPSS itself, because then it distorts the font size when you put it into Word. So that's why you just get the figure itself, copy and paste it into Word, then type the other stuff. Okay, we need to get rid of the grid lines. So I'm going to go to Options, Hide Grid Lines. And now mean life satisfaction. Usually you write like that it's 1 mean and standard deviation is what's shown. So I'm going to just single click again on here and write that it's life satisfaction. So I'm going to get rid of the word mean, and I also don't want that underscore between life satisfaction. And it's good it's not bolded, but if it was, you would unbold it. And same thing with dog ownership. I'm going to get rid of that underscore. That's why I usually write my variable names in title case so that at least the axis labels or titles are closer to it. Okay, so this looks great, but again, you want to get out of the chart editor to get it into SPSS, so I'm going to, or to get it into a Word document. I'm going to X out of this. Go back, and there it is. Now I can copy it as an image, and then I can paste it, and I can make it as big or small as I want. Now this will be figure 2. Life satisfaction varies. Let's see, we could even write is higher for dog owners. And then below it, we're going to write the word note. We could say the bar graph represents the mean with error bars representing plus or minus 1 standard deviation. Or you could even write SD because it's just a common abbreviation accepted as is by APA. Okay, so figure number needs to be bolded. Figure title needs to not be bolded, but needs to be in title case and italicized. And then the word note needs to be italicized, but then you have a sentence afterwards. So this would be how to get an APA style bar graph. Okay, I hope these tricks help you. Please leave a comment if you have any other suggestions. Thanks. Have a great day.